Okay, so this is version 2 of how to use GeoGebra. Hopefully this one's a little bit more clear on how to actually get this to work for everybody. So the first thing I want you to do once you've gone to www.geogebra.org is sign in if you haven't already. Signing in right away is going to help a lot. We're going to sign in with Google. And make sure you use your school account when you sign in. You're going to have to allow access to your Google account when you do that. But that should get everything set up so you can save to your Google Drive and turn things into Google Classroom. Now, what you're going to do is once you're logged in, go ahead and make a new file, new GeoGebra file, and select geometry. For this activity, you have to do a few things, but take a look up here for what you need. The first tab here is for points. You'll see we got point right here, midpoint down here, you'll need that. So if I want to create a point, I just click on the screen somewhere and that creates a point. I can right click this to rename it. So if I want to call this chairs, I can do that. The second tab here is lines. This is where you're going to make a line segment array. So you have to create a line in this one. And again, to rename these, you can just right click on them and click on rename. And so I want to name this line BC. You do the same thing with the line. If you want to rename the line, liney, rename it right there. Now, one thing you should notice here, these points that you put on the line is always going to go through those 2 points. A couple of other things here. Segment, you had to make a segment somewhere. And to construct a midpoint on that segment, again, that's under this point menu. Just click on midpoint and select the line you wanted to make the midpoint on. And then the last part I want to point out, I'll let you find the ray and everything like that, is where you can go to measure things. So this one right here looks like an angle is where you're going to measure it. So you can measure an angle, you can measure a distance, a length, an area, a slope, whatever you need. And we're going to measure a distance, and we want to just measure this line. So we highlight that whole line, and it tells us the length of that line. And one thing I should see here is when I move the line, it should change how long it is. Now when you're done, you've got a few other things to add, but when you're done, make sure you're signed in. If you didn't get signed in, I don't know why that doesn't work sometimes, but make sure you're signed in. You need to save your file first. We're just going to go ahead and save it right to our GeoGebra account. Call it activity 1.1 and make sure that we save it as a public file. That public file is going to mean that I can see it when I need to get to it. And then we're going to go ahead and share it. And you see right here, there's this option for Google Classroom. You'll need to select your class, whichever hour you're in, and select the assignment that you want to turn it into. You'll click on Go here, and then it's going to want to take you to another page to actually click the final Turn In. And then I'm going to be able to see that and open it up and make sure that everything works the way it's supposed to. So hopefully this method here is a lot easier than what I thought we had to do before.